This one I wrote about when my mum passed. I wrote this one. It's called "The World Didn't Stop Still." The world didn't stop still on the day of your death. People ate outside the cafe. Seagulls still flew overhead, ready to swoop down on someone's lunch. Flowers still bloomed. The little train still chugged along the promenade. Children laughed on the train, and as they joined in a scarecrow hunt. I questioned why. How could the world carry on when such an important person had left us? The world should stop. It should never be the same again. The world didn't stop still on the day of your funeral. People still walked the streets. Teachers still taught in classrooms. Children still laughed and ran in the playground. Traffic flowed, taking people to many destinations. People still shopped. The radio still played happy songs. I questioned how. Why would people not stop their busy lives to remember that today we said our final goodbye to such a special person? The world would stop. It should never be the same again. Then I remembered that all these people living their lives, they had never felt the privilege of knowing you. All became clear. I was the lucky one, the proud owner of memories of our time shared together. I remembered that your passing had freed you from a disease and entrapment in a body beyond its best. The world should turn again. I gave myself permission to live. Always said that when she died, she really enjoyed travelling, and she said that when she died, she would travel the world because she would no longer need to pay for a ticket. So this is her vision, really, rather than mine. At first, I was a butterfly. I intended to fly around the world to visit the places I had once seen in person and had loved, and too the places that I had not seen yet. I looked forward to the time when I would begin my adventure and try out my new wings. Before leaving, I needed to make sure that my loved ones felt my presence and knew that I was still around, that my spirit lived on. Although they had known that I needed to be released from their world, letting go had been the hardest thing, and their hearts were heavy. I played my songs through their homes from phones which went untouched, and my silhouette in the corner caught their eye. Then, with the knowledge that I would return to check on them in times of need, I moved on. I found myself in a new yet familiar garden. A butterfly, for whom I was not his first spirit, lent me his wings to try flying on the promise I would return them in a day or two. The thought of flying was daunting, and I was grateful to be able to practice flying at ground level before beginning my trip. I flew from flower to flower, drifting a little further each time. Later, as I thanked my host for his generosity, a warm glow entered my soul, and I knew that it was the time had come. At first I was a butterfly, now I was a shooting star. A shooting star was how I imagined myself to look as I flew through space. I hadn't gained wings as I had thought, but I was able to fly. I found I only had to have a place enter my mind to find myself already heading there. I joined the many spirits floating around the earth, zooming in and out of places they visited. If those on earth had seen it, it must have been a beautiful sight. I travelled for a year, beginning with the places close to home, and then going further afield to the beautiful land of the long white cloud. New Zealand had become my second home in my later years. I visited the places I'd known as a child. And places that I'd wanted to learn about. I soaked up different cultures and ways of living. I marvelled at the beauty of the world and wept over the saddest sights of war-torn countries and suffering. There is more to be seen, but I have returned to my home country, at least for a while. I feel there is suffering at home, and will make certain that my loved ones are settled and content before leaving again. With each of my friends and family, wherever they be in the world, I leave a little of my spirit. When they reminisce or giggle over something I have said, may they know I am laughing with them. When I hear their laughter and watch them smile, it will be time for my next flight. And Fiona. What happened to the children who left our world too soon? Do they splash about in puddles? Do they play under the moon? There is a preschool in the sky. Turn left at the pearly gates. You'll hear the children's laughter, all earthly pain gone away. Through the open door, the glitter flows along the street. Little hands are decorated a messy shade of smudge, the colours of the rainbow from paint poured into tubs. There's paper on the table. The children paint one half, then fold the paper over and press down very hard. What have they created? A butterfly to match their own set of wings. And their families they watch over sit on another table, figures sculpted out of Play-Doh in purple, green and yellow. Round balls for heads and tubes for legs, swirly patterned hair. Mummy, Daddy, Spot the dog, and there is Auntie Claire. But who looks after the children? They are too young to be alone. Two very special ladies met in a cafe by those pearly gates. They got to know each other over cups of tea and cake. They both had worked with children and had loved their jobs so much. They'd made long-lasting special bonds with those whose hearts they touched. After many hours of giggling, reminiscing over special times, they shared a look of sadness over what they'd left behind. But then an idea came to them. They knew just what to do. Start a playgroup in the sky, buy in lots of glue. Now the children in the playgroup, they have the best of times. They have no end of cuddles, of fun times and of rhymes. And the ladies, they are happy to see the little ones content, and the room sparkles with glitter which flows along the streets. Thank you.
Sky blue and dusky pink, like heaven marking earth, from smallest seeds in darkness, watered with rain as silent as my tears, withstanding storms that batter us, light's welcome guest. Nature holds you, love keeps you, always present in my heart. The keeping of Christ be about you. The guarding of God be with you to protect and accompany you on all your paths, through trouble, through danger, through loss. The dancing of the Spirit be around you to comfort and gladden and inspire you each day, each night, each night, each day. Amen.
Remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick at heart, then we remember them. When we have a joy we crave to share, when we have decisions that are difficult to make, when we have achievements that are based on theirs, that's when we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, at the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, at the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. At the rising of the sun and at its setting, then we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are part of us, as we all remember them.